Hi there, you're very welcome to our Student Spotlight series, and joining me today is Sneha Thomas, who is a pure law student at Maynooth University in her second year indeed. Sneha, you're very welcome. Tell us a little bit about your pathway to Maynooth, please.
Yeah, so like Judith said, my name is Sneha Thomas. I'm actually 19 years old and I'm in my second year of law. My pathway to Maynooth would be that I went to Loreto College in Swords. So I was one of them people that ventured between careers every week. So I would change from different things to different things. And then one day, randomly, I was like, okay, like, why don't I think about law? Because one of my teachers said, you're very good at speaking. You can do public speaking really well. So why don't you venture into law, for example? So then I started thinking about it and I wasn't exactly sure until fifth year. And then once I hit fifth year, I was like, okay, I see myself doing this for the rest of my life. I can see myself, talking to the clients, doing all the reading, the case notes, all that kind of stuff. And then in sixth year, our school actually, they bring in people from the different universities to speak to us. And I don't remember the person that came from Maynooth, but a person came in and she managed to convince me about the campus and how friendly everyone was and about my course as well. So that's how I came into Maynooth and into my course, basically.
Very good, but you have a bit of a distance. I mean, you're in Swords, so that's not necessarily the most convenient of commutes.
No, not really, but it's not too bad at the same time. So I would get the bus into Drumcondra and then get the train. So like on a good day, like an hour, and then depending on the traffic, an hour and a half. So to be honest, it's not too bad. Like I don't find it that hard. I got used to it, so I wouldn't.
Plenty of time for you to read up on your notes and do a bit of reflecting on life and generally philosophize. But you were thinking about other colleges. Clearly, you, as you say, you had a talk from Maynooth, but you would have had talks from other colleges as well. So where else were you considering?
Yeah, so obviously I thought about DCU because it was the nearest to my house. But the thing was, the law program that DCU offers is BCL, and I had my eyes set on LLB specifically. So my only other option in Dublin was Trinity. So I was way down between Trinity and Maynooth, but then literally the night before a CAO was due, I was like, okay, no, I'm going to put Maynooth first because Maynooth is a much newer campus. The people, like, I like the campus more, I like the people there a lot more. So I decided that Maynooth would be the best fit. I knew that commuting would be hard because my cousin was actually in Maynooth at the time. But I just thought, it is 4 years of my life, so I might as well do it where I enjoyed most.
That's great. Yeah, interesting. So you said you had the LLB versus the BCL, which isn't necessarily a set of letters that everybody will understand. So could you maybe just set out what is the difference between those two degrees?
Yeah, so BCL is Bachelor's of Civil Law. So it's more, I could say it's more for the solicitor pathway if I were to say it like that. And then LLB, it's pure law. So all I do is law. I don't have business or a language. All I do is just law. All my modules are law. I chose, there isn't major differences between the two courses when you think about it, but I chose pure law because in the future I want to go into criminal law, and I just thought this might be the better course for me, the better fit, instead of going into civil law modules. So yeah, that's the main difference really.
But then you have a subject, criminology, in which you could take in BCL. Does that in any way talk to or speak to your future ambitions in terms of criminal law, or would that have helped you, do you think, in your studies?
Yeah, so when I was actually in school, I was talking to my guidance counselor and there was a bit of confusion whether I should do BCL with criminology or just LLB. So she actually got me in touch with a few of our early students who are doing criminology right now. And they explained it to me and they were like, so they told me what the course would entail. And, I like the idea of it, but I also just, I wasn't like 100% sure if I would enjoy it for, 4 years BCL with criminology. But the thing was, if I chose LLB, I wouldn't have to say, for example, in second year, I didn't like criminal law. I had the option to just, not do, like I could just, it could be just one of my modules instead of a main part of my degree. So that's why I went on LLB instead.
It's interesting how sold you were on the 4-year degree. Like the LLB is a 4-year degree, so it's a full-on commitment. You really jumped in with 2 feet in terms of the commute, the degree and the fact that it's a 4-year degree. I mean, the BCL is 3-year degree with, I guess, the option to go on Erasmus or study abroad for a year. So you, as part of your degree then, a placement is something I think that you're considering, is it? Are you trying to apply for a placement?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What would that involve?
So the application is due by January. So I have to first send in a general application for the law department at Maynooth. And then they'll do, you know, an interview and see if I'm a good candidate. And then essentially they'll send my CV out and my recommendations out to the different law firms. So that's my main plan for 3rd year, you know, either try get a placement, but also, you know, it is a very competitive field to get a placement in. So I'm also looking at, you know, summer internships in the UK, you know, whatever I can grab, just trying to grab them, just trying to make the most of it, really.
So what makes a person's application stand apart then, do you think, told in terms of what will make you stand out?
Okay, so definitely you need your grades. So definitely you need your grades, but the thing is, you definitely need, you know, your involvement in societies. You need to, like, what I personally believe is you need to show that you don't limit your course knowledge or your course application to the boundaries of the campus. So for example, so I told you I set my mind on law in 5th year. During 5th year summer, I did work experience in a solicitor's office in my town. So yeah, I just decided that, you know, I wasn't going to limit my knowledge in law or my experience in law to the lecture halls or to the campus itself and the opportunities that my department provided. So even now I'm actively looking for work experience, just so I can get the, you know, just so I can put myself up a little bit more, you know, like instead of just, obviously I work really hard on my grades, but I also believe, you know, you need to get involved with the societies, get involved with your years ahead of you, just see what the experience is like and all that.
What societies are there that you are involved in terms of law or otherwise?
So we have 3 societies that are law oriented in Maynooth. There's the Law Soc, there's ELSA, which is the European Law Students Association, and then there's FLAC, which is Free Legal Advice Centres. I'm a member of all 3 societies. I actively partake in all the FLAC information sessions, so where we bring in different lecturers or different lawyers, in fact, and we take information evenings on different types of law. So there was one on land law and tenant law, and I think there's one this Thursday on employment law, actually.
Okay.
So I take part in those sessions, and then for ELSA, I'm a part of the organisation committee for the international negotiation competition for 2021. I am also the director for Moot Court competitions this year. So I try to venture out of my comfort zone as possible, because ELSA is a big organisation and I'd be working with people that's, you know, a lot more qualified than me, a lot more educated than me. So I'm really pushing myself out of my comfort zone to try get as much experience, to get as much networking done as possible, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm also a part of the Indian Society in Maynooth. We're actually a new and upcoming society. We started it actually last year, but we have a good amount of members. We're trying our best to engage with them over Zoom. So yeah, those are the societies I'm part of.
That's wonderful. So can you see how what you're studying in your college course is sort of replicated or talks to or speaks to what you do in the clubs and societies in terms of the types of things that you're learning in your modules, and is there a connection there, I guess, in real life?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, even if you don't see it in 1st year, you definitely start understanding it in 2nd year a lot more, I feel like, because in 1st year you're new to the course, you're not actually, you won't have a lot of experience in law, most probably coming into the course, so you're getting a lot of information thrown at you and you're trying to absorb as much as you can. But in 2nd year you have an idea of what it is, you know what to expect. So when say for example we had I'm doing advanced criminal law right now as a module, FLAC hosted a criminal law information session, and I could tie it back to what I was being taught in my 2nd year module as well as my 1st year module. But if that was me in 1st year, I probably would have struggled a little bit to understand the whole concept. So yeah, it does, societies really do try to bring in the modules into practice.
So coming into 1st year into the LLB degree, I mean, there's how many in that class typically in the
around 40.
40, but presumably it's not just 40 people sitting in a lecture under normal circumstances, sitting in a lecture theatre. Are you sitting in with other students from other degrees or from other law degrees?
So it depends on the modules. So the general modules like criminal law, tort law, contract law, we'd be sitting in with BCL students, we'd be sitting in with art students who are taking the same module. So those lectures could hold maybe like 300 people. But then also there are modules that are literally just for LLB students. So we had negotiation and legal skills last year. And in those lectures, like it would just be 40 of us. It would just be catered for the 40 LLB students in first year. So it really depends. You get close personal attention, and then you also get the experience of the big lecture halls. Very good. So what was your favorite module in first year or second year? Has anything really stood out for you? In first year, it was definitely legal skills and advocacy. What was it, sorry? Legal skills and advocacy. So we would focus on the writing element of it, and we would focus on the speaking part of it as well. So our lecturer was actually Alice Harrison. She's a criminal law barrister at the Criminal Courts of Justice. So she would bring in interesting stories, and she would show us court etiquette and how to, physically present a submission to the court. So we did a lot of talking, a lot of a lot of putting law into practice, really. So that was really, really nice for me, and it was probably my most enjoyed module in first year. In second year, I'm enjoying criminal law. It's probably my favorite module so far. It's very interesting to see real life issues being covered in our module, for example, like the current issues surrounding the image-based sexual abuse. We had actually covered our lectures on that last week. So Monday we learned about that, and it was released a few days after that. So we had the information, we had the knowledge of what was going on, and we were trying to actually take action against it. So, it's very nice. How many hours a week do you typically have in terms of class time, lectures, So luckily in one way, my course only has very, very minimal lecture hours. So right now for semester one, I only have 10 lecture hours in a week. And then I will have 3 tutorials, but that's not every week. It'll fall, once a week, every third week. So say like 10-hour lectures every week, and then a lot of individual study. That's it, isn't it? You're doing a lot of individual work. And as you said, back in 5th year, you knew you liked to read, and you're an independent learner, I guess. So what do you think are the key skills or personal attributes that you would need to succeed in this degree? Definitely you need a lot of patience, because the cases are so long, the judges speak for so long. Like I struggle with that sometimes. So I would, like the other day I had to read a 70-page case, and I got to like page 25 and I was like, I can't do it anymore. And then you need to take a moment, you're like, okay, take a break, go back to something else, and then come back to it, because it's very hard to lose track. It's very hard to lose focus on what you're trying to do. So patience for definite. I would say organizational skills, because a lot of information is coming at you. You have a lot of things to do in a very short period of time. So right now I'm knee deep in assignment season right now. So I have a lot of assignments, but at the same time I have to keep on top of my reading, my case summaries. I'm applying for internships, placements. So you really need to have really good organizational skills and time management skills. But I think, you kind of develop those skills during leaving cert, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, and do you find that there is support there for you if you need it in the university? Oh yes, definitely. Okay, good. Yeah. What then, you said criminal is the area that you're interested in. What's the pathway after your degree? So, you get your degree, that doesn't mean that you're ready to practice law. There's a set of steps after that. Could you outline what they are for you, depending on your pathway? Sure. So I'm thinking of going into the barrister route. So once I graduate, I would go to King's Inn, and it's actually a 2-year process. So I learn for a year, I study for a year, and there is a little bit of shadowing involved. And then in second year, I'm shadowing a barrister full time, and then I'm graduated from King's Inn, and I'm officially called to the bar. But also there's a little bit of confusion, because I don't know whether I should finish my degree, do a master's, and then go to King's Inn, or finish my degree, go to King's Inn, and then do a master's, but King's Lynn for definite.
Great. Okay. So do you have any parting words of advice that you'd like to pass on to somebody who is yourself, maybe back a few years ago in 5th or 6th year thinking about law and thinking about Maynooth?
Yeah, don't stress. Like, first of all, just don't stress, because I remember I was a major stress ball. I breakdowns all the time because I was like very worried about going into the wrong course and having to do that for the rest of my life. So don't worry, you have a lot of time, and with Maynooth, the thing is you have so many options to transfer. So, you know, in first year you get 4 weeks to see if you like your course, you know, all that kind of stuff. So don't worry, and you know, eventually you'll figure it out, because you do have a lot of time, and clarity will eventually come to you. With Maynooth, you won't regret it. You won't regret the choice of joining Maynooth. I swear, I was a bit confused. I was a bit hesitant, but the more you read about it, the more you go through the website, go through the courses they offer. Honestly, like, it is one of the best colleges we have in Dublin. I would definitely say that. It's one of the friendliest people you have. You won't have to worry about fitting in. We're so diverse and inclusive, so I would definitely recommend our university.
That's great. Thanks very much. Lovely to meet you again today, and best of luck with your assignments at the moment.
Thank you, Judith.
Thanks, Dan.